Learning happens in the small space of your enormous, beautiful mind. Start where you are. Use what you have. Learn on one. Invite learning in.
If there's anything 2020 has taught us, it's that supporting local is more important than ever. That's why Team Namibia invites you to support Namibian products whenever you can. Look out for the Buy Local Grow Namibia logo on your favorite items in-store and online. Because by supporting local, you show you care. Be Namibian, buy Namibian. Team Namibia, supporting local to grow Namibia. Find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Team Namibia.
Good morning, Namibia, and welcome to My Zone Online School. I'm Mr. Sean Diergaard, and we have a lovely friend with us today. And the two of us are so excited to be bringing Maths Grade 4 and 5 to you today. But before we can start with our lesson, we should first sanitize. My friend, let's take our sanitize, spray on our hands. Let's clean our hands. We have our masks on. And also remember social distance, at least 1.5 meters away from each other. So let's spread out and then we see. Wow, thank you, my friend. Now today's lesson is numeration and place value. Okay, boys and girls, I want you to take out your books and open it on page 8. Now we're going to start with numeration. Now the question is, what is numeracy? Numeracy is the ability to understand and work with numbers. Now remember, when we work with numbers, they can give us numbers in digit form and they can also give us numbers in words. Now whenever they give me a number in the form of a digit and they want me to write it in words, there's one rule which I should always make sure of, and that is correct spelling. Because it's very, very important that we spell the number correctly whenever we write it in words. And when they give me the number in words, and they want me to write it in the form of a digit, there's also one rule. When the digits are 4 and more, remember to leave a space between the fourth and the third number. It's very important, guys, that we learn these two rules. Now we continue with a few examples. Let's look at our first examples. Write 23 in words. So there they give you the number 23. So they want me to write it in words. Now it's always easy to write a number in words because why? Here we say the number out loud, and as we hear the digits, we write it down. So let's start. 23. 20, so we hear the word 20, and then we write 20, and then we also hear the word 3. So we write 3, 23. And going back to our rule, make sure we spell 23 correctly. Let's try another example. Write 712 in digits. Here they gave me the word 712 and they want me to write it in digits. Now, when we write numbers in digits, we start writing from the biggest number that we hear. So what is the biggest number that we hear? Yes, if you said 700, that is the biggest number. So we're going to write 700, and then we also hear 12, and then we're going to write the 12. You want to try one more example? Write 3,925 in words. Remember what I said? Always try to say the number out loud. And as you hear the number, then you write it down. So let's start. 3,000, that is the first word that I hear. So I write down 3,000. 900, that is the second. I write it down. And 25. So 3,925. And do not forget about your spelling. Guys, I want you to do the rest of the examples. Without looking on the answers, I want you to try that examples. But don't forget, whenever they give you the word, the digits in words, remember the space between the fourth and the third digits. Thank you. Now we continue. We go over to page 9 and we start with place value. Now, what is place value? Place value, remember, also deals with numbers. Now, a number is made out of different digits. And in that number, each of that digits has a specific place and a specific value. Now, you will hear the word place value and you will also hear the word value. And it's important that we know what is the difference between place value and the difference between just value. Now, going back to previous years, if you look at grade 1, 2, and 3, we always heard the teacher talked about units, tens, hundreds, thousands. Now, that is the place value. That is the position a number has, a digit has in a number. So whenever we talk about place value, we talk about units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and these are usually written in words. And from the place value, we get the value. Now, value is how much is that digit worth? Is that digit worth 30, 300, 3,000, 30,000? So you will hear when we talk about value, we talk about how much the digit is worth. So please, guys, try to remember the difference between place value, which is unit, tens, hundreds, thousands, and then value, which will refer to how much the digit is worth. Is it worth 20, 50,000, 6, etc.? And we usually use a place value chart, which we will record our digits in. And from the place value chart, we get our place value and we get our value. Now let's try a few examples. If we look at our book, there we have quite a big number. It says, fill in the numbers below in the correct place value on the place value chart. A number is 396,287. Are we together, my friend? Yes, we are together. Now let's see. Here we need to fill in each digit in the place value chart. In our place value chart, we usually start from the smallest place value, which is our units or ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000. So now we know the 7 is a unit, the 8 is a 10, the 2 is 100, The 6 is 1,000. The 9 is 10,000. And the 3 is 100,000. And that is the place value. Now let's look at our questions. What is the place value of the 9? Remember the word place? Place means position. Where in that number is the 9? And if we refer to our place value chart, we see the place value of the 9 is 10,000. Now let's try. What is the value of the 9? Here we see they just ask for value. We don't see the word place. We just see the word value. So here they want to know how much is that 9 worth? And we get it from the place value. We know the place value is 10,000. We take the 10,000, we multiply it with the 9, and the value is 90,000. Let's try one more example. What is the value of the 2? Here they only want to know what the value is. There's no place, so let's quickly try it. What do you think, what is the value? If you said the value is 200, that is 100% correct. How did we get it? We know the place is 100, and we said 2 times 100, and that is equal to 200. We want to try one more example. My friend also wants to try one more example. Is that correct? Yes. So let's try. What is the place value of the 7? Here we hear the word place value again. So here we know we want to find out what place or position the 7 has. We go to our place value chart and we see the 7 is a unit or it is a 1. So the place value of the 7, you can either write it as units or you can write it as ones. Well done, learners. And we can continue on page 10. Here we have a very nice activity for you guys to do. This activity is based on numeration and place value. Let's quickly go through the activity. Write 29 in words. Here they want us to write in words. Remember the rule. Check for spelling. Number 2, write 505 in digits. Number 3, write 578 in words. Check for spelling. Number 4 is quite a big word. 74,311 in digits. Let's repeat that again. Write 74,311 in digits. Here we should not forget the space between the 4th and the 3rd digit. Number 5, fill in the number 29,653 in the place value chart below. So there's a place value chart, units, tens, 100,000s, 10,000s, and 100,000s. Here, 5.1. Fill in the place value and the value of the 2. Then we want both the place value and the value. What is the value of the 5? And 5.3. What is the place value of the 6? Guys and girls, I really hope you will enjoy doing this activity. On page 11, you will find the memorandum. Memorandum is answers. But first, I want you to try to do these sums without looking at your answers. Boys and girls, I really hope you enjoyed today's lesson with me and my friend. And we want to say, please keep safe. Whenever you travel, wear your mask, sanitize, and keep social distance. Goodbye.
Joshi. And make sure to always make a helicopter circle, stretching your arms out and spinning around like me. And make sure you're not touching anyone while doing this. Goodbye.
Good morning, Namibia. Welcome to my zone online school. My name is Mr. Phineas Majon. I'm here with Chanel. Let us start by sanitizing our hands. When you are sanitizing your hands, you are supposed to spray inside your hands. Then, after done, you are supposed to make sure that you are putting on your mask. Let us maintain social distance. Today, we are going to focus on grade 4 and 5 mathematics. The lesson for today is going to focusing on number and number patterns. Let us turn to page 13. On page 13, we are going to start with odd and even numbers. All numbers are classified as odd and even numbers. Even numbers, they end with 0, 2, 4, 6. Whereas odd numbers, they always end with 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So when you are counting in twos, it means we are listing all the odd numbers. So there are examples shown there on page 13, which show odd numbers. The first one is 3, the next one, 125, the second one, third one, 67, then 239, 1,299, 37,657. So when you are identifying odd numbers, you are just looking at the last number. If the last number is ending with the n of the number which are listed on top, it means it's an odd number. The second examples given are even numbers. The first one is 6. Then 232, 324, 5,688, 34,670. Let us face on the chalkboard and try to solve some examples which are there. We own even numbers. They are supposed to end with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And odd numbers, their units are supposed to have 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So whenever you are identifying your even numbers, you just look at the unit. If the unit is having one of these numbers, it means that number is an even number. Chanel, can you come and help us to identify even numbers? Just underline them. Let us check whether it is correct or not. We just look at the last number, 8. 8 is also there, meaning to say it's correct. On the second one, just look at the last number, 0, 0 is also there. So it's even. Then on this one, we are having a 2 at the end, which is there. So these answers are all correct. Let us go to the second example. We look at the last number. 1 is also there. So it's odd. And this one, 9, is also there. So it's odd. I think you managed to understand how to identify even numbers. Let us go to page 13 on the bottom. It's written number patterns. When you are given a number pattern or a sequence, you are supposed to take note of the following. The first one, you are supposed to identify the first term or the number which is written first. Then you are supposed to start the pattern to see whether it is increasing or decreasing. If it is increasing, you are supposed to take note of the number by which it is increasing. The same applies when it is decreasing. You are supposed to see it is decreasing by how much. Let us look at the first example. We are supposed to describe the pattern. That pattern is having 50, 55, 60, 65, and 70. The first thing is to identify the first term. So our pattern is starting at 50. Then, if you are starting at 50 and going to 55, it means we are going up. So we are supposed to see we are going up by how many? So we are going to say 55 minus 60, we get 5. So it means each term we are going to have is having 5 more than the previous one. That is why we end up having 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Our pattern is going up. Let us go to the second example. The first term is 880, 860, 840, and 820. From that pattern, we identify our first term as 880. So it means the sequence is starting at 880. But if you go back to our pattern, you are going to see that 880 is followed by 860, meaning to say we are going down. We're having 80, now we're having 60. Then from 60, we're having 40. So if you say 8 minus 60, we are going to get 20. So it means our sequence is going down by 2, meaning to say each number is 20 less than the number before. Let us now go to page 14. On page 14, we are going to put missing numbers. So the skills which we're using on number patterns are the ones which we are going to apply now. To find the missing number, you are supposed to start the pattern first and see whether it is increasing or decreasing. Then we are supposed to find the number by which it is increasing or decreasing with. Let us go to example 1. We are having 2,400 as our first term, followed by 2,402. If you just look at those two numbers, we are going to see that the first number increased by 2. The third number is now 2,404. So it means we're going to have 2, 4, 6 going up like that. So for us to find our first missing number, it means we are supposed to add a 2. So our third number now becomes 2,460. 2,406. Then from that 2,406, we also add another 2 again. Then we go to 2,408. The next one is given already, which is 2,410. Then the last one also add a 2. Then it becomes 2,412. Let us go to the second example. Our first number on the second example is 7,520, followed by 7,515. Then the third one, 7,510. If you look at the first two numbers, we are having 20 at the end, then the second one is having 15 at the end. It means our numbers are going down. But for them to change from 20 to 15, it means they are going down by 5. So it means we are supposed to subtract 5 for us to get the next term. So if we say 7,510 minus 5, we go to 7,505, which is our first missing number. Then you subtract 5 again, we go to 7,500. Then to get the last number, we subtract 5 again, we go to 7,495. So for your activity, the first one, you are supposed to underline odd numbers, like what we did on the chalkboard. I can identify one for you, then you do the rest on your own on number 1. Remember, when you are dealing with odd numbers, you are supposed to work with the numbers which are ending with 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So all the numbers which are not ending with those ones are not odd numbers. So 435 is an odd number. You are going to do the rest on your own. Then number 2 is saying underline even numbers. For you to remember even numbers, we are supposed to recite 2's times table, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So any number which is ending with 2, 4, 6, 8, and 0 is an odd number. I can give you 38,000 there as an even number. Then number 3, we are supposed to describe the number pattern. When you are describing the number pattern, we are supposed to first identify the first term. Then you see whether it's increasing or decreasing. I will do 3A for you. We are saying the sequence is starting at 1,000. And each term is having 300 more than the first term, because we are adding 300. Then on number 4, you are putting missing numbers. You are supposed to start the pattern and see whether it is increasing or decreasing. If you start with 175, then you go to 200. You see that it's going up. But you are supposed to see that it is going up by 25. If you say 200 minus 175, you get 25. So you are supposed to add that in, same number, for you to finish the work. I think everything is done. There is a memo for you to see whether your answers are correct or wrong. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Let us now sanitize our hands.